Hey guys, good afternoon. Happy Friday. You have officially made it to the weekend and 7 days down if you're counting any type of days in quarantine. But I hope that this finds you doing super fantastic. This is Kim, your independent designer with Couture. Chalk is chic. I am going to get this pulled up really quick and shared. I cannot wait to do this with y'all today because I actually did it in a private Facebook party last night. And I have not done it live for y'all yet. I'm going to spray this with water really quick. But we're going to do the little moped, say yes to new adventures, or let's get away, which we can't, right? We have to kind of do our social distancing thing and our quarantine. And it's just one of those things I'm daydreaming. So we're just going to get this shared super quick. And I'm going to have fun because this one, my friends, when you see some of this, I am just super excited about this transfer. So we are going to share it, spread the love, and then get started really quick. So one of my favorite things to wait and show y'all, I used to clean boards all the time before I went live because they took so long to do. It does not take long anymore. Our board scraper is so super fantastic. I love it. It just gets everything cleaned off and in one big old pile. And then we can wipe it clean. It is super fantastic. It used to take so long to clean a board. And so I would always have them clean before I went live. And now it takes like little to no time at all. So I enjoy it. But I am going to get this board finished wiping off. And then we're going to get started. I'm going to do some bright and fun cheery colors because, guys, we need a little bit of love in our life and just some happiness. So we're going to be using some bright colors today just to kind of spread some love and some just happiness. That is our goal. So I am getting this cleaned off super quick. And then we're going to take our fuzzing towel, and I always just buff that off just to make sure we're completely and totally dry because you don't want to chalk on a wet surface. But I hope y'all are doing great. I'm anxiously awaiting a delivery of Every Plate. I don't know if y'all have heard of that one before. I've done Blue Apron in the past and Home Chef, I think it is. I have Home Chef coming next week, I think, on April 1st, something like that. 11 days away. I just want to try things and see what I like because I hate to cook. I absolutely despise cooking. But I'll be happy to throw something in a crock pot or in an oven. I just don't like sitting and prepping and doing all that stuff. So I'm anxious to see what comes in this little kit that I ordered. So we have a few different pieces. One of the cool things I love is we're going to start out with our A1 right there. All of our Chalk Couture transfers that are stackable like this one is, it gives you guidance and tells you which one to start with. So I think we're going to do some really bright, fun colors just because why not? I think that would be happy and just what we need in our lives right now. So we're going to start with this one, and I am just going to be fuzzing my transfer down here at the bottom. And we do want to make sure we kind of line it up in the center and that we have enough spacing for our words. So it doesn't really matter truly how straight it is. I'm kind of got it straight in the middle. But we want to make sure that we have Say Yes to New Adventures. We have room for it at the top, and then we'll do Let's Get Away down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of love. And like I said, I'm going to use some really bright colors. One of the things I do want to point out, though, that is kind of cool is all your distress, like all those little bitty dots are all your distress markings. So we're going to see some distressed look through this, and I love it. We're going to start with Citrus Splash, one of my favorite new colors. It's one of our in vogue colors, but isn't it gorgeous? We're going to pair this with Couture Teal. We're going to make a little bright scooter, but look at those two together. Super fantastic. But we're going to start with this one and just squeegee on and squeegee off and making sure we get our registration marks. So there's not a lot to this particular transfer right here. And as we go along, we'll be adding more to it. So we are just squeegeeing on, squeegeeing off. I totally just went off that edge, but we'll be able to get that peeled off really quick without any problem. All right, we're gonna give that a pull. You can see where I made a real exceptional boo-boo right there, but that's okay. Nothing that a little paper towel and water doesn't get off. So we are gonna go ahead and give this a quick dry. Hey, Cindy. So we're just giving this a quick dry. We are going to kind of be extra careful. Anytime you're doing layers, you want to be making sure that you're doing a couple of things. One is to make sure that you do fuzz your transfer. And the other thing is just to make sure that you're giving it ample time to dry. One of the common mistakes is not giving it enough time to dry and then sticking it on a wet chalk paste. So I'm just feeling, it feels okay. That feels good. We're just making sure that I've got some little bitty dabs of chalk paste everywhere. That feels pretty good though. It's actually still wet a couple of places. You can definitely tell the humidity is changing in the south, because what used to take just a little bit of time to dry is taking a little bit longer to dry. Okay, that should be golden. So we're going to take our next one, which is going to be A2. And this just gives us our outline. I'm looking really quick. I'm just taking a quick peek. So this gives us our tire outline and such. So we have A2 and then we have A3 next after that. So we do A2 and then A3. And I honestly think I did this backwards last night when I did it. We may go ahead and do this one first, because it just makes a little bit more sense. Let me make sure I have my Couture teal stirred up. Hey Mel, I hope you're doing good. So we're doing bright and fun colors. I did this on a live last night for the very first time in a Facebook party, and I was like, sold. I know what I'm going to be doing for my transfer with y'all tomorrow, because it is just super stellar cute. So I'm getting this lined up really quick. I'm using my registration marks, but I'm also kind of using my other landmarks in place, which is the tires and the rim part, because some of this, it's hard to tell as far as lining it up. So I'm not really pushing down everywhere. I'm pushing down in the places I know I need it pushed down. Hopefully we are lined up well. I should have chalked the little registration marks with a darker color, because that little green, that light citrus splash is really hard to see on that white. If it were on black, it would be perfect, but with it being on that whiteboard, it is super hard to see. So I'm actually chalking registration marks in our Couture teal. But these two colors, Couture teal and that citrus splash, are going to be popping against each other. Let's see what we have. Yes. That looks good. So notice all that distress right there. That is there intentionally on purpose. And I should have done a little bit better job showing you that before we chalked it, but it's okay. But the distress on this transfer, I love. It looks completely retro. Super cute. So this dry is going to take just a second. For sure. We just want to make sure it's ultimately really, really dry. But the retro look of this, because of all the distress look, I love it. When I did this transfer last night, I was like, gosh almighty, I love it. So I just started daydreaming yesterday during the day when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for the Facebook party. I was like, gosh, wouldn't it be cool if you could just hop on a moped and just go? Just go. Like, no coronavirus, just go. And so I posted on my wall, I asked, if money was no object, where would you go? And my place that I would go, I would love to hear where y'all would go if you haven't commented, but my place that I would go is either Scotland or Ireland. And of course, Scotland is because of my love of Outlander, the movie, but I love like just the castles and all of that, the series, Outlander. But I think it would be cool. Ireland's always been on my bucket list of places to go and visit. I think it would just be fun. So keeping with our fun, bright theme, I'm going to hit it with some raspberry sorbet for this up at the top, because we're just making it really bright and cheerful. We don't need any gloom doom colors. So we are going to hit it with raspberry sorbet at the top. I'm doing that on purpose, trying to give this a little bit more dry time down here at the bottom. That's why we're skipping around a little bit. Anytime you're working with a transfer and you need some dry time, or you need to just like give it a break a minute, all you have to do is skip around to a different part of your board and just have fun. But this raspberry sorbet is going to be kicking up against these colors, and it is going to offer us some bright and sunshiny options, because it is gloomy here today with all the rain and stuff. So we are just squeegeeing on, squeegeeing off, just like we normally do, giving this a quick pull. Isn't that gorgeous against that white? You gotta love it. It looks nice and fun and springy and just gorgeous. I love it. Say yes to new adventures. Okay, so we should be good down here. I'm feeling it just to make doubly sure. It feels great. I am going to take our black velvet chalk paste, and we're going to give this a quick stir just before we use it, just to make sure all is well before I put my transfer down. Now, one of the things that you have to make sure you do when you're layering is just make sure that you're not putting your transfer down and exposing your surface to that transfer being on there longer than it needs to, just because there's no point in it. But I'm going to hold this up so you can see those cute little dots and stuff. That's what's offering all of our vintagey kind of look, that little retro look that we have going on right now. I dig it. Love retro, love vintage. Totally born in the wrong era, I do believe. So we are going to get this lined up super quick. I'm going to follow my registration marks, but the other thing that we can follow as well is going to be kind of how everything else is lining up. We should be golden because of where our seat and everything falls. So all I'm doing is very gently pushing down around these areas that we want to chalk. I'm not pushing down everywhere, because that just creates undue stress on those areas we've already chalked that we don't need to. So I'm just squeegeeing on, squeegeeing off. I'm not going to cover up my whole entire teal part of my transfer, just the areas that have silkscreen open, and just giving that a quick chalk. Super cute though. I love, love, love this transfer. All right, I'm going to give this a pull. So there we have our cute tires and our little moped seat. Adorable. So we're pretty much done with this part of the transfer. We need to do Let's Get Away. We have a couple more elements to add really quick. And that's going to be up here where our basket is. We have some flowers so we can brighten the day even more. So we're just giving this a good dry. And I'm not really worried about every place else, but if you've watched me, you know that my hands tend to always find the wet chalk paste. No matter where it is, I always find wet chalk paste. So guys, I had to dry it a little bit. But let me grab a different colored green because we're going to want a slightly different color. And let's see. We will do... I think we're going to do wisteria. So we're going to do wisteria, and then I am using parakeet. Parakeet is a retired color. I tend to try my best not to use retired colors, but we want something different than that citrus splash that's right there. So we're giving this a quick stir, and we are doing some bright and cheerful things. Say yes to new adventures, and then we're going to do Let's Get Away down here at the very bottom. So we are giving our wisteria. Isn't that a gorgeous color, guys? I'm not a big purple fan, but this wisteria color, it's super gorgeous. I love it. So we have two little elements with these flowers. And as you notice, we have as well on this one, B1 and B2, and we have little markings. Now, we don't have any place to like line this up to tell us, yeah, that's exactly where you need to be. So we kind of just have to gauge it and look at it. We just want to make sure that our flowers are just kind of in the basket as best as we can. We're going to be like that a little bit. And we're going to take wisteria and get this chalked. Should be easier to cover up like that citrus splash color. And we're going to use wisteria again in a minute to put the Let's Get Away together. So that's a really cool color combination. I'm going to give that a quick dry. Super, super cute. I just love the vintage part. That's my favorite, is that distressed look. I just really dig it. Now, one of the things that I love to tell people, my tips and tricks, but if you're drying your board, especially if you're using a hot air dryer and you want to let heat dissipate, you can take one of your paste colors and put it underneath the board and let that heat come up out from underneath it, because when it's laying against this fuzzing towel, it's going to hold heat in a lot more. So if you notice your board is super hot and not returning to that room temperature, that's all you need to do. We're going to do Let's Get Away right down here at the bottom while we are waiting on that to dry. But we're going to do Let's Get Away and just kind of line it up here at the bottom. We're going to hit that with some wisteria. The cool thing I love about this font, though, is it really doesn't matter if you're straight. I mean, we're pretty straight. But the way it's written and kind of just curvy, it does have a straight linear part to it, but it's not like it's a straight font. So even if you're off a smidgen, you're not going to really be able to tell or see. So we're going to hit this with wisteria really quick. Easy peasy to chalk. Usually just in one fell swoop. And we're just squeegeeing on, squeegeeing off. And we're going to give that a pull. I love that font. Super cute, super elegant, and just easy on the eyes. Let me dry that really quick. So if our chalk paste were to dry on its own, it usually dries in about 5 minutes, give or take. It dries to hard matte finish. But since we're working with someone that always gets her hands and fingers in wet chalk paste, we go ahead and dry it with the dryer. Just so y'all don't have to wait that long too for those elements to dry between times. And then we're going to take our little leaves. This is just the leaf part. And again, you can see all of those little distressed looks. Love it. Love it. And we have our little registration marks right there. So we are going to line those up as best we can. And y'all, sometimes seeing these registration marks while I'm on my live because of how the camera angle is not easy. But this one in particular actually kind of outlines already what's on there because it lets flowers be flowers, and then it outlines what's already chalked. So if that makes any kind of sense, it's not that hard to line up. It already has kind of an outline there for us. So we are just squeegeeing on, squeegeeing off. We don't have to re-chalk our registration marks because we are going to be done with those in just a second. But there you have that gorgeous flower. Love this. So let's get that dry really quick, and then I'm going to show you my little trick for getting off those registration marks, because they're handy to use while we're chalking, right? We don't want them on there forever. And I am always leery of using water near my design, only because I worked really hard on it, so I don't want to get it wet. But I'm going to show you what I suggest doing. You can do whatever you want to do, but this works well. So what I normally do to get rid of my registration marks, because you see we have a registration mark here, 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 and here. Now we could take a Q-tip that's wet and wipe it clean. We could take a baby wipe or a paper towel. I use a popsicle stick, guys, and just knock off that chalk paste. We're going to blow that off in just a minute, but it's really simple just to knock it off. You're not going to damage your board, and it just gets rid of it, right? So we're going to use our little dryer to blow that away, get it off of our board. And if you still have a little hint, like here, it's kind of hard to tell, but you have a little hint of that Chalkology paste still, I use water baby wipes. I don't use the regular kind. I use the water ones. But let me just show you. All you have to do is just take a baby wipe and go, you know, over your area, and then it gets off any of your chalk paste residue that you might have hanging out or lingering. But this is called Let's Get Away. It is a size C transfer. We used a bunch of Chalkology paste colors, but guys, this is a fun one. I enjoyed the heck out of doing this one. So let's just talk about our colors really quick, and then we are all done. We used one of my favorite new in vogue colors, that Citrus Splash. It is gorgeous. We paired it with my favorite Couture Teal, but look at those popping colors together. Doesn't that make you want to hop on a moped, especially this one? And I'm not a moped fan, but I would drive it. And we used black velvet for our tires, our seat, and our little handlebars. And then we hit Wisteria for our flowers down here and for Let's Get Away. Wisteria is also one of those in vogue colors. They go away after this catalog is over, but see, spring theme, this is what we got going on. But Wisteria is super, super pretty, really, really gorgeous. And then up here, we had to add some brightness and cheerfulness to it and did Raspberry Sorbet for our words for Say Yes to New Adventures. And last but certainly not least, one of my favorite retired colors, Parakeet. We just had to have some bright, cheerful green to bring all that color combination stuff together. But I hope y'all are doing fun and having a fun time, spending time with your family on this lockdown, staying safe. I have been literally in self-quarantine for about a week on purpose so I can go to work and take care of kids safely and know that I was not exposed to anything. But I hope y'all are doing super fantastic, enjoying the heck out of your fans or friends and family if you are seeing them. Stay safe, guys. Wash your hands and enjoy this time. It's a God wink, I promise. After all is said and done, this is somebody upstairs telling us to kind of slow down and halt the music a little bit. But I hope y'all are doing swell. Happy Friday, happy weekend, and I look forward to talking with y'all more tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good night.